Hey folks, just to let you know that I had to send my XRGB Mini FrameMeister for repairs. So until I get it back, I won't be able to capture footage off of retro consoles. You know, I hate sports games. I don't care if it's Pro Evolution Soccer, FIFA or Madden. I just find most sports games really boring. But Captain Tsubasa is an exception, and that's because it had several anime series launched in the 80s, 90s and 2000s, with the latest reimagining having just released earlier this year. And this anime is super popular in some parts of the globe. We're talking like Dragon Ball Z levels of popular. Which makes sense because the series itself can be summed into what if Dragon Ball Z took place on a soccer field. In fact, if you grew up in Japan, South America or the Iberian Peninsula, chances are you have some really fond memories of the anime, whose name was changed to Super Campeões or Super Campeones. This anime is so popular in Japan, it's been credited as the single reason why Japan went from a baseball nation to a football or soccer one. Yeah, I know this is a bit uncommon for my channel's team, but like I said, my FrameMeister is busted, and I've actually been playing this game every day for the past few months when going to work in the morning. So, with all that said, Captain Tsubasa Dream Team is a free-to-play gacha game released for Android and the iOS. The game can best be described as Final Fantasy meets Football Manager, which is why I'm so fascinated by this title. I have never heard of any game that mixes these two seemingly unmixable genres. Anyway, as you begin the game, you're given a starting team and two major players. The first one is always the anime's main character Tsubasa, while the other is a random main character or antagonist from the series or manga. From there on, it's your job to build a strong, cohesive team. This means you'll spend a lot of time navigating the many menus of the game, deciding on the best formation, which players to add for each position, that sort of thing. You can also use several experience items to level up players, and depending on their rarity, they can be leveled up from level 40 all the way to level 99. There's more to improving players than just leveling them up though. For starters, there's many different versions of the same character which are taken from various different arcs of the story. So you could have one player from back when he was in grade school, and then the same player from when he's a full adult, and they'll both have different strengths, weaknesses, and abilities. And if you have two players with the same name, you can sacrifice one of them to pass his skills on to the next. So for example, if you have a character that's good at passing, it might be a good idea to track down a version of that character that's weak but has a good passing skill, and then teach him that. Skills can then be leveled up individually as well, either by acquiring specific skill items or by sacrificing players with the same skill. Not only that, but many characters also have passive skills which take up a different slot and can't be removed or leveled up. And then you also have team skills which can increase the stats or abilities of the entire team or just certain members of the team, like forwards, defenders, strength type players, agility type players, that sort of thing. And finally, some characters also have hidden skill trees, which can be unlocked to further strengthen them. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot to manage here, and you might think this would be boring. But it really isn't, mostly because it doesn't feel like a boring football simulator. Yes, there is a similar aspect to it, but a lot of it is also clearly taken from JRPGs and Tactical JRPGs like Final Fantasy or Fire Emblem. And it's surprisingly fun to build the best team you can or improve a player to their maximum potential. A lot of the items you need to improve your characters can only be found while playing the various weekly or daily missions, or by playing the story mode. The story mode is cool, in which it covers almost every story arc from the various anime incarnations. From the grade school championship, all the way to the high school world Asian preliminaries. Sadly, even though we have characters from the later arcs when they become professional football players, these are not covered in the story mode. And it's in the story mode where you'll be reliving many of the major matches from the anime, or watch visual novel style cutscenes. I like that they included a story mode, but the missions here were so easy you could beat them with your eyes closed. In fact, when playing these, I simply set my team to high-speed autoplay and let the game beat them for me. And yes, this is one of those phone games with the autoplay option. I'm generally not a big fan of autoplay. I mean, I get its purpose. It lets you play the game while you're at work, but I also feel it diminishes your merit. But here, it makes sense. Most manager-type games have nothing but autoplay. So if you just want to play the same aspect of Captain Tsubasa, you can probably just stick with this. And to the game's credit, the AI is fairly competent at managing your characters during a match. It's not as good as a seasoned player, especially because after a while, you start picking up on the AI's quirks, so you'll know when it thinks it's in shooting, passing, or blocking range, and you can plan accordingly. But for what it is, it's pretty decent. But now, it's time we check out the real star of the show, and those are the matches themselves. And oh man, I hope you like over-the-top anime goodness, because we're in for a treat. Do you like powers named after animals or elements? I hope you do, because we have the Eagle Shot, the Falcon Shot, the Panther Dribble, the Fire Shot, the Squirrel Jump, the Cannon Shot, the Twin Shot, and my personal favorite, the tongue twister known as Skylab Hurricane Twin Shot. Just look at this! Oh! Can we get an instant replay on that? We literally have one player who throws himself on the ground, so two players can jump on top, propel themselves on the air, and kick the ball while in the air at the same time. This is the show I remember, and by God, it's glorious! And this is just the beginning. You have shots so powerful, players are hurled into the air and goalkeepers nearly kill themselves just to stop you from scoring. Man, the goalkeepers are the true MVPs here. Oh, and some skills require 2 or more players to work. These can be 1-2 combos, twin shots, that sort of thing. And you gotta love how the French players' skills are all somehow related to the Eiffel Tower. You have the Eiffel attack, and the slather cannon shot, in which you get a big sparkly Eiffel Tower in the background. Jesus Christ, Japan! All you're missing are some stereotypical French names. Wait, did he just call him Napoleon? And did the other guys just say Pierre? They're literally called Pierre and Napoleon? Oh dear God, I love this! And the best part, this is completely played straight. This isn't a parody or meant to be taken as a joke. They're like the Dragon Ball Z equivalent of Frieza. And they're called Pierre and Napoleon and score goals using the Eiffel attack. Why don't you just throw a couple of berets, some mustaches, and French baguettes while you're at it? Anyway, when a match starts, the game becomes a mix of real-time tactics with turn-based combat. When you're out in the field, you can only control the player with the ball. You can choose where to go, which direction to pass, shoot, or use a special shooting skill. If you don't give your player any orders, the AI will automatically take over most of your duties for you, depending on your settings. However, when 2 characters meet, you're brought to a turn-based menu system. Here, you get an overview of your stats and that of your opponents. You can then choose your next action, which can be a regular move like pass, shoot, or dribble, or special skills. There are still instances in which your characters meet, which is either when you're attacking or defending, and your actions change accordingly. If you're attacking, you can shoot, pass, dribble, or use 1-2 combos. And your skills also fall into this category. And when defending, you can tackle, intercept, or block, and use skills from these three choices. Basically, the game follows a rock paper scissors logic in which certain actions are inherently stronger against some, but weaker against others. For example, intercept is strong against passing, blocking is strong against shooting, and tackle is strong against dribbling. But just because you made the wrong or correct choice, it doesn't mean things will go your way. It just means you have a higher chance of things either working for you or against you. Stats, for example, also count towards the end result. Though, even if you have two nearly identical players facing off against each other, it's still not black and white. Then, of course, you could both be using special skills in which one character does a special shot and the other a special block, and different skills will have different strength levels, meaning it could still go either way. Finally, with each and every action you or your opponent do, there's a chance one of you might score a critical, resulting in a stat boost. There's 3 levels of critical: silver, gold, and rainbow, meaning you could both score criticals at the same time, but you might score a higher or lower critical. So yeah, matchups are where you'll be using most of your skills and facing most of your opponent's skills. However, each action costs stamina, and the more powerful the skill, the higher the stamina cost. And if a character reaches 0 stamina, they become practically useless. They'll recover some stamina during halftime, but it might be a good idea to replace them with someone else. In fact, it's probably a good idea to learn how to navigate the playfield to avoid matchups, spotting any openings in the enemy's defense, and sneak your way through. The real fun, though, is in doing online matches and league matches, in which you engage against other players and their teams. And it's really interesting to see all the builds and combinations people use. You can't really talk to other players, but you can send stamps, which, you know, it's something, I guess. From there on, it's a question of gathering your rewards and improving the team. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for special weekly or daily missions, as well as events which give you new characters, skills, or items. The most important of which give you dream balls, which you can then use towards getting new players from Gacha and... well, it's Gacha. You know what you're getting yourself into. Basically, you'll be spending dream balls to get random characters. But of course, the better the characters, the lower the chances of you getting them. And not gonna lie, Captain Tsubasa Dream Team gives you some pretty low chances of getting the best players. We're talking like 0.5% here. Obviously, the intent is to get you to spend money on the game. But so far, I haven't spent a dime on it, and I like to think I've built a pretty decent team. I mean, I'm already on the top ranked league and can play pretty well against other players. Overall, I've been pretty addicted to this game, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't because I'm a huge fan of the anime. Despite a few issues, mostly related to its gacha nature, I really love Captain Tsubasa Dream Team. It's a unique blend of the football management simulator genre with JRPG, and it truly helps it stand out from the sea of free-to-play phone games that are out there. It's not perfect by any means, but if you're a fan of the anime, or if you're in the mood for a fun little time waster on your phone that's unlike most games out there, I'd say give this one a try. Hey everyone, thank you for watching St1ka's Retro Corner. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. All that fun social media stuff. And if you want to support the channel, check out my Patreon, where you'll find all kinds of awesome rewards. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Bye!